What is up, everybody? Welcome to Fandom Frequency. I'm one of your hosts, Mike, with my lovely co-host today, JT.
Hello, everyone.
Steven couldn't join us today. He is having a blast up in Minnesota without us. We are very jealous.
Yeah, Mancini, when he went to go see SummerSlam. For all of our wrestling fans out there, I'm almost positive that when he gets back, he'll have some fun stories to tell and memories to let you guys in on. But yeah, like Mike said, he is not here. He is enjoying wrestling, as we all do here
Yeah.
on this fandom frequency. So
JT, we have wrestling today too. It's 901
we do.
Wrestling's Meltdown. It's going to be
Yes.
awesome at Minglewood Hall. Go check it out if you're in the Memphis area. But Steven is at a WWE event, and it's a multiple day event, and his head's getting blown off right now. He went his Penta yesterday. He had the CM Punk raps, so
Yeah. Man
he's
was
ready
on
for it.
fire. He is on fire this week. He's living his dream, and we can only sit there and just cheer from the background. So
Exactly. Well,
so
JT, we today are here to talk about something very near and dear to us because we've done it together twice now. We're talking
yeah,
about a movie, Brand New Day,
yeah,
Spider-Man,
yep,
Brand New Day.
yep. It is.
Daniel
It is
Destin
in.
Cretton.
It is indeed a brand new day.
Destin
Because
Daniel
holy
Cretton.
crap, this movie has been absolutely destroying the box office.
Mm-hmm.
With just buku's amounts of money. Uh, which is it's not surprising, but
What's it
wow,
sitting at right now?
it's pretty. I mean, it's doing really well. And as of this recording on um, Sunday, August 2nd, which happy August to everyone. We saw the movie Wednesday, July 29th, I believe. Yeah, 29th. We saw it 29th at a early fan screening here in Memphis, and then we saw it again on August 1st. So yes, we have seen it twice, like Mike mentioned. Um, man, it's we'll get into it, but I can promise you that guys, it's even better the second time.
Well,
Um,
it did have a historic opening day.
yes,
Broke some box
yes.
office records, $168 million
Ooh boy.
in its opening day, surpassing Avengers Endgame's 157 million, which is crazy. Um, we saw what was it 9 screens yesterday? We're showing the
Yeah.
movie. It
Yep.
deserves it. Um, right there with the Odyssey currently running.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a wolf pack. They're Tom Holland and John Bernthal are running side by side right now, rough shot
And
through the box
Zendaya.
office.
And
Oh,
Zendaya.
right, yeah, exactly. And Robert Pattinson's
So
right there alongside him. We're very excited for prime time.
yes, yes. But yeah, it was quite the summer for those three. Bernthal, Holland, and Zendaya. Um, very excited for all three of them. Very happy for all three of them. Um, but yeah, Mike, I think we should talk about Brand New Day.
So, are we gonna just we've given our reviews everywhere. Steven's given his review. We've given our reviews. Do you want to jump right into spoilers? We're just gonna start
I
digging
say
it,
we give our yeah I say we give a little bit more of a
fleshed
um
out review.
yeah fleshed out review before we get into spoilers, because I know Steven has his that we'll hear in just a second.
Cool.
He was very kind enough to send us a voice recording of his thoughts and opinions. So we'll play that when we get started.
Steven's
Um,
only seen it once.
yes, Steven has only seen it once, so
Hmm.
he needs to jump on it and
Yeah.
see it again. Which we have. We got a little surprise this morning in our pre-show, and he did jump in. We got to see his little lovely face. So it was a great surprise this morning to see that little cutie
It
over there.
was. It's made my day. It's
Um,
gonna be a good day. I already know.
yeah, it's a good brand new day. Um, but yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get into our thoughts and opinions on the movie. Do you want to go first, or you know what? Let's let Steven tell us what he thinks of the film.
How's it going, gentlemen? Hope you guys are doing great. And hello, audience. Hope you guys are great as well. My non spoiler thought review of Spider Man Brand New Day is really just a movie about the core of Peter Parker. It's a great movie, it has great messages, and I loved the action. I thought everything was just really, really well done. My favorite inclusion probably has to be Frank Castle as Punisher. I think this is the best version of Punisher we've seen in a long time. Not only Does he have his badass moments? But at the same time, we really get to see a human side of Frank that they kind of peel the curtain back on a little bit when it comes down to things like One Last Kill and also maybe a little bit of the Daredevil series. But other than that, I thought it was just absolutely fantastic. From beginning to end, it was so much fun. And every time we got action, I felt like it was from a video game. It was like, this is what Spider-Man is supposed to feel like. We're supposed to feel the raw power, the strength, the fluidity, everything that he can do, the acrobatics. There were some moves that were ripped straight from the video game that I thought was just really impressive. Overall, though, camera work was fantastic. The scenery was awesome. It was a gorgeous looking movie, and I really couldn't have asked for anything better.
All right, Steven, thank you so much for your thoughts and opinions on it.
Very
Mike,
well put.
yeah, absolutely. I think we're all going to say the same thing, but it's better to hear it from three different voices than, you know, have
Yeah, I
one
mean,
opinion
exactly.
that
Yeah, you get a
all
little
three
bit
of us
more
are going to
variety.
have. Yeah. So,
I think that whatever Mark Webb did with the trilogy that he had was admirable, but Destin Daniel Cretton took it to the next level with this one. My girlfriend said that it is her favorite live action Spider-Man movie, hands down, bar
wow.
none.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's pretty, and she's only seen it once, and
Mm-hmm.
I did love it. It is. We said it multiple times. I'll hammer it into the ground. It is everything you want to see in a Spider-Man film. I love the Insomniac games. I've played all three of them. I will continue playing them as long as they make them. There are so many nods to that. There are so many nods to the comic books, the movie, like they're everything. It is beautiful. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, no, it is a very the movie in itself really um it feels like a love letter to not only Marvel fans but to Spider-Man fans as well. I was sitting there just giddy as all get out when the opening title has nothing but Spider-Man, nothing but Tom Holland, and the only people that have gotten that kind of um, I guess uh, what the word am I looking for?
That treatment, that kind of like the
Treatment. Yeah, yeah,
prestige.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and that would be Chadwick Boseman's Black Panther, and then Stan Lee.
Hmm.
So those are two reasons. Those two people are kind of you understand why they got that treatment, um, and so I'm I'm not mad at it. But what I will say is, boy oh boy, when I saw Tom and Zendaya and Jacob, and then Marissa Tomei and all these characters from past Spider-Man films, I'm sorry, the Tom Holland Spider-Man films, that was like, okay, we really feel like those are in the past. Like
It's a
we are
lived in
looking what
world
the
now. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and it was awesome. I had a blast just kind of sitting there. I had a smile on my face before the movie even started, if that tells you anything. Um, and I think that it is to me, and we'll break this down. You and I will, because I think it'll be a little bit difficult for Steven to be, while he's gone. But we'll in just a few minutes we'll break down our live action Spider-Man rankings. Um, but to me, this movie is what Spider-Man films should be like. I I loved the intro. I know a lot of people had, um, you know, some gripes with how the movie opened, but to me, we needed that time jump. We needed that time to tell us what Spider-Man has been doing since we last saw him in No Way Home. Last time we saw him in No Way Home, him he made the spell to everybody forget that he was Spider-Man, right? So or to forget who Peter Parker was. And so what happens is now you have Zendaya, MJ and Ned, who don't know who he is. They're going off to MIT, and they spend the whole 4 years at MIT. And in that time, Spider-Man has been doing Spider-Man things, fighting different villains, learning about his abilities and maturing in that way. And now in this movie, we get that mature Spider-Man who is still dealing with the you know and what I
Repercussions.
love about it is he always checks up on his friends too,
Hmm.
even though they don't know who he is. He always checks up on them, and you're like, that's I love that about it. But enough of me going through the movie. We'll get to that in a minute. I really love this movie, honestly, man. I think that of the Tom Holland films, this is my favorite Tom Holland movie.
Agreed.
We've gotten four of them, um, and this is my favorite, bar none. I will probably and hopefully see this movie again because it is that good. Um,
I want to see it in IMAX.
yeah, and I wish we could, but again, we talked about it earlier. There's another movie that has taken up the IMAX screens, and that is the Odyssey. So here in Memphis, all the IMAX screens, which there's only one, has been taken up by the Odyssey, and so maybe once the Odyssey is done with its kind of rollout of movies, maybe Spider-Man can jump in there, but I don't know.
I think we
That's a
go up to
tough one.
Nashville and see Odyssey 70 millimeter, and then see IMAX, and then see Spider Man in like the giant Omnivision.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah, that sounds like a fantastic trip. I say we do that. Um, but yeah, the movie was great. I absolutely loved it.
There was a big. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but there
No,
was a
no, go
lot of
ahead, go ahead.
stir online about this being another like smaller Avengers film with all the cameos and stuff like that. It's like, oh, there's gonna be too many characters, there's gonna be too much going on.
Hmm.
This is a Spider-Man film through and through.
Yeah,
It is. I mean, Spider-Man is in pretty much every single scene of the film. It
yep,
never once feels like anybody else takes the screen away from him. And Tom Holland is so good in everything. Oh God, I tell you, I don't know, man. The way he combines every element that we love about every other Spider-Man in this film
yeah,
is just choice.
yeah. I agree. I think like a lot of people, you know, I understand the criticism. Don't get me wrong. I understand it because it is not a Marvel movie. It is a Marvel Sony movie. And
Mm.
we all know that Sony has had its issues. I mean, look at the Sony movies that they've made that are Spider-Man related. Like look at all of the Madam Webs, the Cravens, the Morbius, like the Venom movies. Look at all of those and then you kind of understand. Oh, Sony has its hand in it. Yikes! But then you got to say, okay, well, but Marvel has its hands in it as well, and I trust Marvel way more than I do Sony when it comes to these types of movies. Um, I also got to give a huge shout out to Tom Holland because apparently he hated the uh, first script that they wrote and first everything. So that was pretty good. Um, and the fact that we can sit here and have a Marvel Sony movie that is breaking the box office and that is just absolutely doing, crazy amounts of numbers. I mean, on Letterbox, like I can look right now on Letterbox, I believe it is one of the highest movies this summer, with people giving it like, let's see, right now on Letterbox is a 4.2 out of 5.
Wow.
Obviously it rate it kind of does this whole like
Fluctuation.
yeah. It takes everybody. I mean, it has it is one of the quickest, along with the Odyssey, one of the quickest movies to ever reach the 1 million watch mark.
Wow.
It is
Wow.
currently sitting as 1.35 million people have seen this movie.
See, and this just shows you that like Christopher Nolan knows how to get people back and see. I mean, theater for a little bit has been kind of struggling. We've seen some big box office numbers, but nothing like we've seen in the past couple of decades, right? Until
Yeah,
now. These are
yeah,
literal box office shattering numbers. It's kind of insane to
yeah.
see. And there's like they don't look like they're slowing down. Neither one
No,
of them. Because word of
no.
mouth is so strong, the same thing that happened with Obsession, it's going to keep happening. Like we saw so many kids in there. This is what I love to see too. So many kids in there yesterday and Spider-Man shirts,
Yep.
shoes, decked out, and you know that the next generation is taking everything from this film and now they're getting like the best version of Spider-Man possible for their first Spider-Man.
Yeah.
What? Oh gosh, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah, I'll say this. Not only are we getting a resurgence in the box office, I saw I saw some other podcasts. We won't go into names. Say that this has been a down year for cinema. I don't know what they're on. I don't know what they're talking about. I don't know.
Obsession, Backrooms, like what? Odyssey.
Odyssey, Spider Man, like
It's not even what.
I mean,
Toy
yeah,
Story
that's
5.
yeah. I
Uh,
mean, we will have 4 movies, 5 movies really that will break $1 billion this year.
no
How is
doubt.
that a
Like they
how is that
will
a
break a
down
billion dollars.
like how is that a down year? I don't understand that take. I don't understand that idea. It has been a fantastic year for cinema.
It seems like
Fantastic.
people want to be out. People want to be in a cinema. I think I know we've talked in our past about qualms with viewings, but we had a theater full of huge Marvel fans in the fan showing. Obviously, there
Yep.
was clapping at every mention of a character. We will go into that more in the spoilers because there are lots of characters that don't get mentioned. But there, yes, clapping at every mention. JT was his head was boiling. But those are the kind of screenings that I do love too, because the energy in there, you feel it. You feel the passion for the character, and this is why, like, it's the same thing with seeing a concert or anything like that for me. The energy is why I'm there, and that just makes the screenings better for me personally. Not like talking
Hmm.
full volume in a horror movie. We talked about that, but like the fan interaction. I don't want you to ruin a film, but like if you, yes, it's awesome, man. I love fan interaction.
Yeah, I think for me, while I have my gripes of movie etiquette, there are moments where I understand the clapping. I get it. Marvel movies are very much the exception.
Because you are
Like
smiling, like you
when
do enjoy that. You are feeling it with the crowd, like you're with
yes,
it.
yes, I will pump my fist. I will give a little Italian, hey,
Yeah, yeah,
what
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I'll do a lot of that. But I just can't. Even with Marvel movies, I just can't clap. But yes, to your point, we did have a lot of that in both of our screenings,
Hmm.
and it is what it is. I got past it. We move on. We move forward.
But it didn't ruin the
Um,
film at all. It's just
no,
fans
it didn't.
enjoying
It
it.
just. I think now that people, at least my friends that have heard my annoyance on clapping, um, they all now you know, start to act like they're gonna clap just to annoy me.
But we did have some friends genuinely clap at the end of the film. Because I mean, I didn't
Yes, they
because
did.
but
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
if you're feeling it, dude, go for it. Like the end of the film,
Yeah,
that's all
yeah,
for it. They're not gonna hear
yeah.
you, but go for it.
I won't, but yeah, go for it. Sure. Um, I just, I'll just look at you and stare at you. Um, but yeah, no, this is. I mean, we've talked about the box office and how it's destroying numbers, absolutely killing it. We've also talked about like the fan service and how not the fan service of the movie, but the fan service in the theater and how amazing it feels to be back in the cinema for a Marvel movie. Because to be honest, we got one last year, which was Fantastic Four.
Hmm.
We got this one, and the next one we'll see is Doomsday in December. But then we won't get another Marvel movie until next year with Secret Wars. So, I mean, we're eating pretty good. Marvel is on a big upswing right now with the last couple of movies that they've had. Um,
But I also think
you know,
I'm sorry, just I don't. I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but it's
no,
like
no, you're good. I was just, yeah, go ahead.
the break and kind of we've talked about superhero fatigue and stuff like that a lot. I think that this like they're serving us so good right now that we can take that little break after Doomsday and everything will be so hyped for Secret Wars that dude, it's just gonna be I think it'll be crazier than in game levels fervor once it reaches. Like it's gonna be people foaming at the mouth.
Yeah, I mean, if this lone Spider-Man movie has made more than in game, like I mean, in game was
What a bananas thought.
crazy.
That's 20
Yeah,
years worth of like world building. And I know obviously Spider-Man is like how long have we known
yeah,
Peter Parker at this point? But still,
yeah.
it's just that's bananas to me because I
I
remember
think that
seeing
goes to Well, I was gonna say, I think that goes to just who Spider-Man is
Right.
and the character. Like a lot of people put him in their Mount Rushmore of
He's in mine.
superheroes.
Yeah.
I mean, that like last summer we had Superman,
Hmm.
and then this summer we have Spider-Man. So like, that I don't follow and I don't subscribe to superhero fatigue. I think what that is people wanting to hate just to hate.
Yeah.
There's I can understand where you might feel bogged down a little bit, but there's evidence to show that superhero fatigue is not a real thing. It is just something that people made up because they want to hate and they love to hate and they want to be
Well, it's
different.
also you don't have
And
to choose it all. Like you don't have to consume it all. You have your
right,
favorite
right,
character. Like I love Moon Knight just like you do. I can watch Moon Knight. I don't have to watch Ironheart. I may like want
hmm
to like brush up on it to know what's going on in the next film, but I don't have to watch it. I can
yeah.
consume what I want. Like they're just giving
I
this
mean, you.
out. I should. You should.
Yeah, you should. You should watch it. Like you should watch it.
But it's not. I mean, it doesn't have to be for everybody.
Right,
It's
right.
opinions always exist. There are certain flavors for
Yep.
certain people, and that's what makes this thing
hmm
so great. Is that it gives you Marvel in general gives you such a varied. Like you can watch a spy thriller with why am I blanking? Captain America, Winter Soldier, and then you can
Yeah.
watch Thunderbolts team up buddy film. Like it's just so varied.
hmm Yeah. And what's crazy is like the last three Marvel movies that we've gotten, Brand New Day, Fantastic Four, and Thunderbolts, have all done really well to the audience. Um, Obviously, Spider Man's going to do extremely like high numbers because of the name alone, but again, you go to any kind of rating scale, rating system, letterbox, um, Rotten Tomatoes, critic scores, whatever, and all three of those movies are very high on both like critic and audience scores. So, you know, I just don't see where the superhero fatigue is. I think that is a thing that people made up, and when they don't want to watch something,
Hmm.
they're like, "Oh, I don't want to. I'm just so fatigued with all the superhero." That's a
I don't
choice.
want to feel
That's a
like I
choice, my
have to
friend.
watch everything. Like you don't have to. You can
Like,
go online and like do a recap if you want. You don't have to, but like you don't have to
yeah,
consume everything.
exactly, exactly. But for the fans like like myself, well, I'm gonna throw myself in there. I have been doing a rewatch of the MCU, just the movies, not the television shows, but just the movies, and like I have the luxury of watching them whenever I want.
Right.
And so like I don't have that fatigue of like, oh, I've got to watch these. Now,
Yeah.
granted, I will put this caveat in there. I'm a massive Marvel fan, so like I'm going to watch this. I'm going to enjoy them for what they are whenever I want. So I don't have to have like I will be a critic to some of these movies because some of them aren't good,
Yeah.
but a majority of them are good. Good to great. And people again, superhero fatigue, I don't believe in it. I don't subscribe to it.
Well,
Um
we are tuned into the fandom frequency, so
yes, we are. And so if you don't want to uh you know if you don't want to have that superhero fatigue, you can just change your frequency to something else. I mean, uh Mike has his horror frequency that's dialed up to 11.
yeah. And I can love
um
superheroes and have that be two separate things. And then when they release something like Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, everybody can hate on it
yep.
while I absolutely love it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And of course, opinions are always going to differ. People are going to have different opinions on whatever. I just looked on my letterbox, Mike. I just want to let you know, and the lowest score that someone gave it of my friends list was a 3.5.
And
That's the
I
lowest
be-
that someone gave it.
I wonder. I don't know if he uses this app, but I think I could guess who it was. Probably not.
No, no, he
No.
doesn't use that
Okay.
app. I know who you're talking about.
Okay.
No, he doesn't use that
It seems like
app.
something he would do though.
I agree. But I think it's time to get into spoilers. What do you think?
Man, if we're gonna do it, we need to get into it and sink our teeth into it because there's so much to get into.
There absolutely is. And like we did with our non-spoilers, we're gonna start with Steven, who sent in his spoiler review for the movie. So Steven, take it away, my friend.
When it comes down to spoiler thoughts of Brand New Day, I will just have to say this movie blows all the other movies out of the water. Not just action wise, like I said in my earlier review, but when it comes down to the twists and turns of this movie, I thought that was really impressive. I loved all the sequences of Jean tapping into other people's minds, talking to Spider-Man and talking to Peter. I thought that was really unique, especially the certain scenes when you had Scorpion or when Peter was testing out his new gadgets. It was just really, really well done. And I gotta say, too, it comes down to probably the last 45 minutes for me, where I thought, like, it might have been one of the most perfect third acts that we've had in a Marvel movie in a long time. I really love Frank Castle in this, and when he takes that shot at Peter, and Peter saves Jean, and you think that Peter's gonna die, and who's the one person that's waiting at the hospital for Peter? And it's Frank. Also, that had a really funny moment of, I know how to get you out of here, I have a plan. He lets Peter go down to the street in civilian clothing during the gathering in New York when they're celebrating Spider-Man coming out of the hospital, or being in the hospital and kind of just wishing him their best luck and all that. Where they look up and you just see Frank Castle putting on the Spider-Man mask, and he has the gloves on, and he's just waving to the audience and doing like little thumbs up and poses. And then they have that shot of inside the hotel or the hospital room, I mean, and it's Frank Castle making Frank Castle noises, just going yeah, yeah. Like, I thought that was just really funny. The inclusion of his character was just super cool. Action was great. Not a lot of Hulk, and I kind of figured we wouldn't get a lot of Hulk. And everyone thought we were getting Gray Hulk. There was no way. I didn't think he was going to be a big player like that. But I will say this does have a really good, I will say like storyline feature that they're probably going to throw into future movies like X-Men. Now that Peter has created a universal inhibitor chip that can go through and suppress powers, I think that's something that the Department of Damage Control is going to go through and take advantage of. And by the time that mutants actually start rolling around here, they're going to go through and try to copy that tech, go through and capture mutants, suppress their powers, things like that. So, unknowingly, Peter has created another issue that he'll have to later deal with, or, other people have to deal with. And I think that's a great thing about the character. But through and through, I loved the movie. My final review, or my final rating out of 5, I would have to say it's a 4.5 out of 5. It's almost there at a 5. I will say some parts of the movie do drag a little bit, but other than that, it was really fantastic. So, that's what I think.
Thank you, Steven, for your thoughts and opinions. Spoiler edition. Look, I got to be completely honest with you, Mike. I think Marvel, as much as we glazed over them earlier, they had the worst kept secret of all of of cinema.
You can't hire a young redhead and not expect people to just. I mean, we already have an MJ, obviously, so it's like, who else?
Yeah. As soon as Sadie Sink was cast in this movie, the immediate reaction was, could this be the actual real MJ? And there was some wild theories going on, especially after No Way Home. But then people were like, well, wait a minute, wait. What is the next saga that we're getting into? The mutant saga. Who is also a redhead in this mutant saga that we know will have powers in this movie? Oh, we have our Jean Grey. So, yes, Sadie Sink is playing Jean Grey. Again, I think everyone knew that. But because of there are some people out there who don't follow religiously like we do, or they don't watch the trailers like we do. They just won't know. And so, congratulations to Sadie Sink. She is going to be an outstanding Jean Grey moving forward in Marvel. And I know she was giddy about it because in the press tour for the movie, she even said that she didn't have to audition for it. They just, they said, "What do you think of this? What is your thoughts on it?" Da 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 da. And she was like, "I love it. I'll do it. Like, I'm there day one." So she's into it, and I cannot wait.
I'm not even a Stranger Things fan, and I knew that was perfect casting, dude. And she knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, I'm not a Stranger Things fan either, and even my wife was like, "Oh yeah, Sadie Sink plays this character in Stranger Things." I was like, yeah, that's cool, but she is Jean Grey in this. And Madison was like, how do you know that? And I was like, well, let me just go through some of the things that are similar to Jean Grey and Sadie Sink. And yes, they both have red hair. Yes, they both use telepathic powers. Yes, they're extremely powerful. Um, like it just made sense. Like it just made sense from watching the trailer and then and then going and seeing the movie. Um, but what I will say is they did keep a mystery in this movie without spoiling it, and I think that was the VMAX situation because the entire time, I don't know about you, Mike. The entire time I'm sitting there saying like, is this like almost like a super soldier serum
Yeah.
that is for mutants? Is this like a some kind of drug? Is this some kind of like what is this?
Suppression weapon
And
to like, yeah, something.
exactly, and it was none of them. It was just at a very emotional moment, and when you find out, you're like,
Oh, what a gut punch.
oh, oh my. But we'll get to that in just a little bit. For the movie itself, I think like normally when we do our spoiler talks, we kind of break down the movie as we go along, and I think we could probably do that a little bit. Obviously, for those who listen to us, we definitely appreciate you and your time and what y'all have to think and what y'all have to say. We love the comments. We love reading them. We want interaction. So if we miss anything during this breakdown, please let us know because it is a 2 hour and something minute movie, and it's a long movie, and we will probably miss something. But we're gonna just kind of glaze over the parts that we're like, oh, this was really cool, but talk more about it. So um, I spoke to you and the whole audience earlier about the opening sequence, and while some people think that is more or less of a drag, and it takes its time, I think we needed that time, at least in my opinion. I think we needed to see MJ and Ned off to college doing their thing, year by year, and we see them freshman year, sophomore, junior, and senior year of MIT. I like that because we're not losing who the core trio of this entire like movie saga is. Like they've been there since the beginning with Peter, and so I think moving forward when you have this, it's like they don't need to be like, yes, they were in the movie for a good portion of the movie, but for that beginning part, it was just like through a phone screen, or it was like seeing in passing or whatever. And Peter is still keeping tabs on who they are. He doesn't want to like he said in the movie. He tries to forget them. He tries to live his life without them, but he just can't. And I love the beginning because while those two are off in college, Peter's doing his own Spider-Man thing. It says he's taking out crime bosses and crime lords. He's fighting against Scorpion, putting him in jail. He's fighting, Tombstone, putting him in jail. Boomerang, you know, some other, villains. The Hand. Like, do you remember when the first trailer happened and we saw the imagery of the Hand and people were like, "Whoa,
Yeah.
what could this be about?" Again, Marvel does it best. It's not. It wasn't even a big part of the movie.
Just that one
And I
shot of
love
him
that.
coming down from the building at the
Yeah.
hand as it
Yeah.
coming up.
Yeah. And I thought that was fine. Like we don't like everybody thought the Hand. I think what happened was because of how Daredevil season two, Born Again season two ended. I think a lot of people thought that maybe we could get a Daredevil in this movie. But then again, you got to think about it. It's like, okay, this movie was probably made, while Brand New Day was probably being made while Born Again was finishing up. So like, they wouldn't have crossed paths like that. I mean, sure, you could have added a little cameo in there of Daredevil, but
I think the
no.
cameo, the Frank Castle, and I'm going to say it too because we're already in spoiler territory. The Black Widow cameo, dude, we
Yeah,
got to see
Yelena Belova.
yeah, we got to see Tombstone, we got to see Ramrod, we got to see,
Mm-hmm.
and again, it's in a montage with Ramrod, and Tombstone has a little bit more screen time, but It's just a couple of seconds, little cameo, but it's cool. It's like it's fulfilling that little kid in you, where it's like, oh, it's these comic book characters I've loved on the big screen. Oh my God, look at them.
Yep.
You do
Yep.
it.
Yep. It is. Yeah. It is that. It is taking what I think a lot of people because Spider-Man can arguably go up against Batman for the best rogues gallery
Easy.
of characters,
Yeah.
right? And we get to see it in this movie. We get to see
Scorpion.
Ramrod. We get to see Scorpion. We get to see, Tombstone.
Mentions
we get
to
see Boomerang.
Shocker with the gloves.
Exactly. Like we get to see all these characters. So like, I think a lot of people were kind of afraid because of what happened in Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 3, how there was so many
Too many
characters
cooks,
and so
yeah.
many like so many storylines. And I think people and that's rightfully so. Like Spider-Man 3 did have a ton of characters in it. However, this movie felt like they were needed. Like they had a point to it. Like you needed to see Tombstone, Scorpion, Boomerang, Ramrod. You get to see all those characters, very small snippets of it. But that is what Spider-Man has been doing. They are small potatoes. And that is what Spider-Man has been doing as the 4 years have been going on since we last saw him. So it's not like, because I feel like, honestly, if the movie opened up with at this moment, I would have been like, well, what has he been doing? Like, I would have asked the question, like, what is this? And this answers it. This is what he's been doing.
It almost,
and not only that,
I'm sorry, it's almost reminiscent of like the kind of recap thing they did in Fantastic Four. We don't need an entire like 30, 40 minutes of screen time dedicated to like just being like, okay, well we're gonna give you the past 5 years. Like you can just give us a quick little recap, nice little bite size, and then let's get into the meat of the film.
Yep, meat and potatoes of the film. Big potatoes, but small potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
But what I will say is like and I'm glad you brought up the Fantastic Four because there were also moments in that movie that they cut because of runtime, and I think Spider-Man did it better in the sense of like, okay, all we need to see is like 5 seconds of, 5 to 10 seconds of Tombstone, 3 seconds of Ramrod, 3 seconds of Boomerang, 3 seconds of even though Scorpion did play a bigger part as as a villain.
Michael Mando's awesome.
Yeah, that is true. Facts. I just think that seeing those villains and knowing what Spider-Man has been doing helps so much, in my opinion, of the timeline and how mature Spider-Man has gotten over the years.
Because those guys are like no slouches. Like it's gonna take Spidey some time to like be able to deal with these guys to get to the point to where he is wrapping them up. Like all the evidence is in Lonnie's car, like stuff like that. Like he's not just like solving it quick like that. Like he's good, but he's not.
Yeah, and he's doing things like you mentioned in the Insomniac game. He is doing things that you see, wrapping them up in a web ball and hanging them from a light,
catching them off the side of the building and not let them go over and stuff like that.
Exactly.
The rooftop fight. Oh,
exactly. It is, and Spider-Man, like the Insomniac Spider-Man 2 game, at least, all of them, all three of them, have been just incredible. Like damn near perfect.
They are. I mean, it's like
game.
Yeah. For Spider-Man, Batman, those games, the Arkham games, are like the perfect video game, and like just like the Easter eggs and stuff like that. And this film has plenty, like even the way when the web swinging scenes, when he's moving around the city, like going over certain things, like that's how he moves in the game. It's just like the fact that they've gone through and poured over all these little details. They're like, well, this is how we need to do it here because this is how he's done it. Oh.
Yeah. The practical web swinging was such a lovely
what a breath
addition.
Of fresh air.
I mean, I don't know what John Watts was thinking when he was doing his movies, but like, goodness gracious, like it is insane that you can't get a practical web swing going on in your movies. It is. Hey, look.
Well, it's like Sam Raimi tried to do it a little bit. I think. Andrew Garfield's Mark Webb did those, I believe. Yeah, he tried to do it a little bit. I think I said Mark Webb earlier. I meant John Watts. But he tried to do it a little bit. But it's like, I think the limitations were the time. Like, they would have had to use too much visual effects. Yeah. But this, like, the advancements we have now, we should be able to make web swinging look good. And they did here. It looks
Yeah,
incredible.
absolutely, absolutely. But moving on with our spoiler breakdown, um, after we get all of that and we learn all of that, um, again, we're not going to go through the whole movie because again, it's a long movie, so take it as it is. But so a couple scenes in the beginning that really stick out, I think, was the first time we get to see the powers of Jean Grey and how
Mm.
she is, you know, controlling these people, mind controlling these people, and she even has them, steal a tank, and the tank, is going and um, is going for the damage control headquarters. Um, and we get to see once it crashes that it's a janitor. It's like a janitor from the damage control site, and then Sadie Sink, whatever. Jean Grey jumps from person to person to try to get to Scorpion because she believes Scorpion is the way to VMAX. Um, and again, we'll talk about VMAX later, but that is not the case. That is not the case. And one thing I will say to Marvel's standpoint is I see a lot of ridicule online and a lot of backlash of why make one of your best superheroes the villain in this movie. I wouldn't say Sadie Sink's Jean Grey is the villain of this movie. She is just misunderstood,
Yeah,
in my opinion, and I think that's the biggest trope in superheroes is the misunderstood hero
exactly.
becoming the
Just like
villain.
Thunderbolts.
Exactly. However, what I will say is the actual villain did not really seem like the villain until the very end, and I love that. Like, sure, there were some sketchy moments with the damage control, but like they were convincing. They
Yeah.
convinced Spider-Man. Like,
He's a good actor. He
yeah,
couldn't.
I
And also,
mean,
Spider-Man's going through his mutation stuff. His Spidey sense isn't all quite there. It's a little off. He can sense Jean Grey at first in their first encounter, can't sense her later.
yeah, yeah,
Well, Metzger too, though. I think like Josh had said, one of our buddies, Josh, send a Josh, go follow him, check him out. He had said that there's no real villain. I mean, we know it's DODC, but I think a running theme that we've seen now between this and Thunderbolts, loneliness, is a real
yeah,
villain in these films, and like it's showing us that like even Yelena says something like, "You are you." I'm glad to see the sad man has friends because it's
yeah,
like. I love to see that because we all need to work together. We all need to help each other to make things work. And I love
yep,
to see that. That was one of my favorite things, especially the second viewing. It's just like seeing there are a couple of scenes where it's just like you need people. You need
yeah,
people. And I love that so
absolutely.
much.
Yeah, it I to those points, like, yes, there's not like an overarching like big bad that you have to take down.
I think
Like
the
Jean
DODC
Grey,
will come in later. They'll be
yeah,
huge.
this was an easy introduction for the DODC. Like, oh, we've had them before. Um, and Jean Grey even mentions why are you helping the people that are trying to take us down, the people who are different and who have powers. And we've seen that the DODC tried to take down Kamala Khan. They've tried to take down Wonder Man. They try to take down, like they were even in um, No Way Home. Like there are like the whole DODC in itself is just the idea of it is there, but they are doing villainous things throughout these movies to set them up to be, a big major player down the road.
Well, what does
And
Mesker say at one point? I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt, but I want to go to your point right there, and I want to mention something Mesker says. It's like we are learning from these bad guys to do good with it. And that's
exactly,
when we see Shocker's gloves and stuff like that. And it's
the
like,
hand.
yeah, and exactly. And there's one point later on where that comes into play with Spider-Man himself, where they're like, look, they're using these weapons against even you. And it's
Yeah,
like, okay, so how far into this thing could they dig to where they have their claws so deep that they can basically just control anything, whatever they want? So that's kind of scary to think about, personally, for me.
no, yeah. I mean, I mean, just think about it. Like those Shocker like gloves and the cannons that get shot at Spider-Man. They break his webbing. Like they
Yeah.
they they break it
They were
down
made
because of the
specifically for him. Yeah.
exactly. And I don't think Spider-Man ever knew that because he never posed a threat
It
to
was that
the
scan
the
at the beginning.
DODC. exactly. Like he never like in the DODC like Metzger is a smart man to say like Spider-Man's the only one who could probably beat these people like these villains. Let's let's try to get on his good side. And they do until Spider-Man ultimately figures it out and was like, nope, you're wrong.
Yeah.
But to the point of people saying there's no true villain, I think that I don't necessarily think they need like superhero movies need to have a true villain as long as you have someone who is like there as a bad person or a
Yeah.
bad like entity or group or whatever. And the
Right.
DODC has now shown their cards. Metzger's on the run. He's gone. But he's not gone without knowledge. He now knows how to um, you know,
Control the jumps and stuff. Yeah.
he knows how to control
The inhibitor too.
just the superhero, yeah, superpowered people. He has the inhibitor, like you mentioned, made by Spider-Man, and so
Well, he does that because he's starting to mutate. He's got all these
yeah,
powers. He's got webs like Spider 2 or Peter 2 where they're coming out of
hmm
his little wristicles.
yep, it was weird looking. I'm not gonna lie.
One
Was
of
weird.
one of my favorite scenes in the film is when he's squeezing it and it comes out like just so gross. I love
Yep,
that.
yeah,
It's so good.
he almost throws up like the rest of us. But I will say it is nice to see a mutating Spider-Man where he's now, because that is Spider-Man. Like I think one of the big issues with Andrews and with Tom's Spider-Man is it wasn't like he had to use his knowledge. Like he had the strength, he had the abilities, he had all this stuff, but webbing was the one that he had to make mechanically and with science and chemistry, and he does that all the time, and he's perfect at it. I mean, hell, he even made a spider grenade, which was awesome to see.
Yeah.
But now he has this ability where he doesn't have to do that anymore. It just comes out of his wrist at ease. And I think that's what makes a Spider-Man, in my opinion, is not the mechanical stuff and the sciencey stuff. Like, sure, every Spider-Man's gonna have that knowledge of science and chemistry,
Oh, the
but the
spider
fact,
camera. Oh, so good.
like of course he's gonna have the when he thwips, it's gonna
Oh,
come out of his wrist because like that just makes sense to me. I think. Um,
well, funny enough, that wasn't even a thing. The web in his wrist wasn't even a thing until the Sam Raimi Spider-Man,
yeah,
which is insane to think about. Like that was like it was supposed to be kind of like a body horror element. It's like, oh, what could you imagine if they came out of his wrists? And it's
yeah,
like kind of gross to think about, but it's like, yeah, I mean, realistically, if you're mutating into a spider, why not?
yeah,
And the way they use
yeah,
it in this film is so cool because, like, I mean, it harkens back to one of our favorite films, Spider-Man 2, when Peter starts to lose his powers a little bit, and
yep,
he's got to make the web stop, web stop. Oh,
yeah,
a funny thing that we notice on the second viewing is how much he says it realistically like, in the background and stuff. Just web stop, like, just kind of
exactly, exactly. As he's like he has to like
can't
tell the
control it.
webs.
Yeah,
Yeah, he has to tell the webs in his mind what to do.
can't control his strength because he beats Matt Gargan.
Oh my
Almost
gosh.
almost kills a cop. He can't. He's kind of just geeking out a little bit. So he goes to see Bruce Banner because that's somebody he knows that can control the geek out. And that's where he
Yep.
gets the information for the inhibitor. Uh,
But I will say to stop you on that point, it is nice to see a Bruce Banner in this movie. While a lot of people were like, "This doesn't make sense. Why does this make blah blah blah?" It's like, who else
what
is
else
he
is
going
he
to
going to
go
be
to?
doing? Yeah,
Exactly. Like who else is Spider-Man going to be, going to go
to
to
control the
figure out
geek out. Exactly.
like to figure out it's the only other person that he knows that can control his rage and this monster inside of him, and that's what Peter thinks it is. Peter thinks that he is turning into a monster, and in reality he's not. He's just having this new profound ability and this new he's just morphing, he's shedding his old skin, and
Which we literally
you
see a
know
scene of in the film.
exactly.
Yeah,
Not a human shedding skin, a
yeah,
spider
spider.
shedding skin, I should say.
It's very
um
visceral, and Peter's face shows it all.
Yeah, it is. But Bruce does mention he was like, "You're not one of my students, are you?" And I love like there's some, because when Peter makes that wish to Doctor Strange, there were, I mean, a lot of people think that there were a couple people who would still remember. Um, and depending on Bruce and if he's the Hulk or if he's, Bruce or whatever, he might be someone who remembers who Peter is. And but I don't know. There was a there was
In
a
what
hint at it.
capacity? Like what?
Yeah, there
You
was
know.
a hint. There was a hint at it in their fight. Um, earlier, and he does lie about his name. Says he's Ned Leeds. He does say that he's not. He's a grad student, which he's not. And so, like, there's some fibbing going on between Peter and Bruce. But Bruce is a genius, and I feel like he kind of figures it out later on. Um, but what I will say is, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just crap. I kind of lost it. I think that like to the memory point, like they all remember, right? Like there's, I think at the end we see that like everybody, with given enough, like even you mentioned in the Bruce Banner fight, everybody remembers. I think. Um, but there's a really interesting. That's what it was. There's a really interesting thing that uh, Bruce Banner says when he's talking about the inhibitor, and he's like talking about how it can control anything basically, and he's like, that's some pretty sketchy stuff you're messing with there, Peter, or with Ned, because he's hiding his Ned leads, and
Hmm.
that's also something that Mary Jane says later, or not Mary Jane, Michelle Jones, MJ says
Yeah.
later on, because Peter is messing with some pretty weird stuff that could be potentially. Well, man, I'm kind of rambling here, dude. I'm sorry.
No, no, you're good. I think that's what we should do with this. Movies like this is because there's so much going on that
I just thought that was
like
interesting that everybody he seems to bring that up to is just like you shouldn't be messing around with this stuff, and he's just like it'll be fine.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Even I mean, there's multiple people. Like you mentioned, MJ says it in the warehouse. Um, Bruce says it at the college. They're all like, "Are you sure this is what you want to do? Like, you're
And he
you're
does
really
it anyway.
suppressing because the more you suppress that darker, like, uh, I guess monster as they think it is. I mean, look at the Hulk. I mean,
Yep.
like he comes out as a monster because Bruce for all this time has been suppressing him down and down and down, and all of a sudden it's like, all right, here he is. Um, but no, one of my favorite parts of the movie, and I think this goes to everyone's point, is the chemistry and like the character involvement with Punisher
Mm-hmm.
and Spider-Man,
So good.
because it feels like we have seen these two together on screen so long. This is the only time we've ever seen them interact on screen, whether it be a television screen or a big screen, and that chemistry between John Bernthal and Tom Holland is just immaculate. I want to see more of this, and I hope we do. But what we got in this movie, and the Punisher wasn't even like, again, going back to your point earlier, people's opinion of, oh my God, there's way too many characters in this movie. Punisher fit right in.
Yeah.
He did not feel forced.
So did
He did
Hulk.
not
Yeah.
feel exactly like there was no. They didn't feel forced into these roles, and it didn't like they all played a part into the story. And Punisher's role is now more of a like I don't
That's
want to
like a
say
weird, like a
babysitter.
crazy uncle. Like
Yeah,
he's kind of
I
like
don't want to
I
say
got him.
yeah, because like we get. Do you remember when the first Avengers came out and there was a line between Nat and Clint, and they're like, "Oh, it's like Budapest all over again."
Yeah.
I remember so many people being like, "Well, what
What
does
the hell
that
happened to
mean?"
Budapest? Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, what happened? What happened? What happened? And then we finally kind of see a little bit of it in the Black Widow movie. I want to know what happened on Staten Island.
Yo, there's a
I
there's a line that I noticed the second time. Frank says something really interesting. He goes, "He hit me with like a grain of rice." Sandman.
mm, possibly,
Did you poop?
possibly.
Also, I wanted to mention there's a scene right before that that is utterly heartbreaking, and this is
Mm,
why Peter has to bring MJ to Frank Castle, and I had my girlfriend in the seat sobbing next to me, and it's
yeah.
when we think that
Oh,
MJ remembers Peter. They have a big thing. Zendaya, incredible actress. Tom Holland, incredible actor. Oh my gosh, their chemistry obviously being married. Uh, they have their true love's kiss, takes off his
Yep.
mask, whole thing. They're hugging, and then she's like, "Let's take it all in, Peter. Hug her one more time." And then it's just teases him, completely rips it away from him. She's like, "Oh, the
Oh,
true love's kiss is gonna bring it all back." MJ would be disgusted with you. It's just all just teasing him. Oh my gosh.
uh,
Oh,
yeah. That moment when we first saw it for the first time, the gasps in the audience, the
well,
just the oh my
me and your
gosh,
wife
like
knew though there was something that was off. Me and your wife said it. We were like, no, 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 no. We did the whole
yeah,
Punisher thing. No, 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 no. We
yeah,
had it going on. We kind of like looked over at each other because we were like, it's not real. And but the whole theater was they were bought, man. They were sold on it.
yeah. It was quite crazy because like before that, even backing up a little further, you know, Spider-Man does find out that okay, Jean's powers can only jump to a certain like
33 feet.
mileage or like yeah, like feet or whatever distance, I should say. And when he realizes this, he catches her in a airplane by the pilot or by someone. So
Helicopter.
she's kind of stuck. Um, I
You
see a
can't
lot
jump
of
anywhere.
discourse.
Yeah.
I see a lot of discourse saying like, well, then how did she get into the MJ? Well, if you guys don't remember in the movie, she
Hopping.
does. She can go back into her own body after being in someone else. So she jumps out of that person. Then she finds someone that's closer to MJ, hops into that body, and
Sarah
body
says it.
hops
She
basically.
says, "You're right back where you started after the hop." So we see it in that scene with her and Sarah in the park where she hops into that girl in the pink jumpsuit
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
gets out of her, and she's right back. So
exactly.
even if
And
Sadie Sink, she could be in the same room, and we see it with John Bernthal too. When she's in the same room as him, she's still like there. So she's like
yeah,
cognizant of what's going on while she's got these people under control.
yeah.
Uh, it's pretty insane how they use her powers. I love it. It's
Yeah,
pretty awesome.
I thought it was a great usage of her powers. And the fact
When
that
she
she
holds
can
everybody,
be,
woo!
yeah, and she can be in the same room as that person while mind controlling them.
But it
But
was
we
a
did
really cool
learn that,
scene.
all you have to do is just really hit that person in the head, and it kind of breaks her out because
Yeah.
that's what Spider-Man does to the Hulk when she's controlling the Hulk. Is he like hits like brings him down with his
He pulls
webbing
down the yeah.
and then he like hits his head on the concrete and it like pops Jean Grey out of his head and that's when
I think
she's
it's like
like oh
a being John Malkovich type thing where they're just kind of like peering into their head. They're like a back seat, like a get out almost type
yeah
thing.
yeah
So then they're pushed right back in. I could see, yeah,
yeah
obviously a head damage. You're gonna like wiggle you out of it a little bit. Well, that's when the
exactly
Hulk, he goes full Hulk. Is after
he
Sadie
goes
Sink gets
savage
knocked out. That was so
savage Hulk
sick to see, man, with the brown pants and everything, all ripped to shreds. Wish we could have seen purple pants, but that doesn't make sense for MIT or Empire State University. Um, but no,
exactly
he gets. I didn't know you could get that big. Is literally said by Peter because holy crap, that
yeah
was
he we I mean we're so used to you
Professor
know
Hulk.
yeah we're so used to like the nerdy goofy Professor Hulk like mantra and yeah, not in this case. He is full Savage Hulk, and it was incredible to see. I mean,
Dude,
he was
he's got that webbing around him, he's holding like
all the
87
rocks,
tons worth of building rubble. Ugh.
and it's like
And
cutting his
still like
skin.
yeah, that's such it looks so good. They like the effects now for what they can do with Mark Ruffalo are insane because there's
Hmm.
that was the best Hulk has looked on screen since I think like probably Thor Ragnarok maybe.
Yeah,
No, I don't
yeah,
know.
I would think so because after that, that's when we get more of like because then
Humanoid Hulk.
he gets the crap beat out of him by Thanos in
Yeah.
Infinity War. Goes back to Bruce Banner for majority of I mean all of Infinity War, and then in game he comes back as Professor Hulk. So yeah, I mean Ragnarok would have been when we saw his actual like
Yeah.
Hulk form,
He
and
was
he
like
was
with
in
the
the Hulk
Grand
form
Master.
for so long. So, um, but no, I mean moving on with Brand New Day, um, the scene after you know he figures out where Jean is and he wants to go take the track or the he wants to take the thing the inhibitor he wants to take the inhibitor to to stop Jean and put the stuff like the inhibitor on her neck to stop her powers, I should say. She does, or he does that. He goes there, and MJ hears all of this, where he's telling Punisher, "Hey, stay here with her, be here with her. Um, you've gotta watch her for me." And Punisher's like, "Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that." And then after he does that, MJ comes out of the room and was like, "I think you should probably go and be with him." And he was like, "What do you mean?" She was like, "Kind of like Staten Island all over again." And we're like, "Whoa, okay, there it is again. There's Staten Island again." Um, and it's just it is an incredible like arc of MJ being like, I'm safe here, but I know he needs you, and she catches that loneliness. If it to me it made sense where he's like, even when she's working on or Peter's working on the inhibitor himself, he needs help to do that. He needs help to go fight Jean Grey and the Hulk. He needs help doing all these things, but he is trying so hard to do it himself, and that's what I love about it. Is like all these other characters except for Peter, except for Spider-Man, catch that he needs help until the very end of the movie, which we'll talk about in a bit. But like everybody
Yelena
else
says it.
is
Yeah.
yeah.
You're
I mean,
lonely, sad man.
everybody else is like, oh hey, by the way, you need help with this. Why aren't you, you know,
Yeah.
why don't
I'm
we
just,
help
no,
you?
no, I'm fine. No.
Yeah, I mean, he thinks he can do it by himself, and obviously we see that he can't. Um, and that's I love that. I love that aspect about it too, because again, like you mentioned, loneliness being a big pivotal villain of this role. While it's not a being or it's not a actual character, it it it, it
It
hits
takes
you
over you, dude.
personally. Yeah,
Yeah.
it hits you personally. Um, and this movie is a very personal movie. Like you feel a lot of his effects. But then
I,
after all of that, and after Jean Grey gets the inhibitor put on her, the Hulk gets defeated. Metzger, we learn more and more how shady he is. We get back to the boat, back to Frank's house, and MJ has read the letter that Peter wrote at the end of No Way Home, and that is uh, that is a heartbreaking moment as well,
mm-hmm.
and it is quite insane how like you mentioned, the chemistry between Tom and Zendaya. Obviously, they're married. Like they're gonna have phenomenal chemistry. But like as Peter and MJ, the fact that she reads this and was like, and he says, "I love you," and he's thinking in his mind, if I say that, maybe she'll remember, because at the end of No Way Home, she says, "Don't say it until I see you." Like,
But
don't
they're
say it.
just
Like,
words to her. Like she doesn't.
exactly. And
Yeah.
she says the line. She says the line. You know, this MJ is grateful. I'm grateful for her. I don't love you. And then she says, "I don't even know who you are." And I was like,
Mm.
"Oh," I was
See,
like,
okay,
that hurts
okay.
so much.
I think that partially, I've been wondering this for a while, and I just want to. I'm gonna do a quick peel off of a theory real quick. Partially, could it be Jean Grey putting like being like let's maybe give this guy a little bit of, because she's been in MJ's head. We know
Yeah,
this,
and
and we
she
see.
even mentions there is no trace of you in there. Like,
But to that point, at the end of the Hulk and Banner fight, she's been in Hulk's head also, right? But at this point, they're still gnashing teeth. She's been in Hulk's head. Hulk is holding Peter down. He says, "Bruce, Bruce, please," and that's when Hulk comes to the realization and lets him go. So there's there. I think that was Jean Grey teasing him. We see at the end when he shakes Ned's hand. Ned remembers. We see when MJ is holding the necklace. She remembers, right? Like she has to. Do you think that is some sort of influence from Jean Grey? Or do you think that it's just like
I
the
think
strength?
I think that is
Because Ned was also technically under the influence of Jean Grey when they were all in the hold.
I think see the way that I viewed it at the very end when Jean Grey has them all frozen. I never saw that as her controlling them. I felt like that was just her
stopping
like,
everything,
like
right?
stopping them. So like,
But she had to
I
be.
don't.
She has to be in their head to be able to like. That's the thing, because I mean, obviously she's not in Peter's head at that point
Right.
because he lets her in.
I
But
think
yeah, she's
the other example that I can use from this is
just her
in Logan.
telepathic abilities just stopping
In
them.
the
Okay,
yeah, in the movie Logan, when old Professor X
is
was
doing
having
his
his tantrums,
yeah.
I feel like it was kind of similar to that,
Okay,
where or like his seizures, so to say. While Jean Grey is not having seizures, she's just that powerful that she can stop everybody in a radius, not necessarily mind jump them or get into their heads, just forcefully stopping them with a power. So,
but I think what
so
is it?
I think
What is it that
it's
brings
up
it on?
to.
Because
I
it's
think it's
the
just,
handshake for Ned, right? Like, and then
I
Pete.
think
Sorry.
I think for no for MJ's point, I think she read the letter. I think she read the letter, and now she's starting to like kind of sit there.
She wouldn't admit
Okay,
it. Like, her character would be too stubborn. Like, if she had remembered stuff, like, she'd be like, but that's not who I am anymore. Like, she would push it down herself until,
yeah,
like, I think, personally. That's what I was thinking when I was watching it. And then she's on the roof at the end, and she's, like, clutching the necklace. Like, she knows.
the way that I thought about it is she has all those memories. Okay, she has going to MIT. She has, she even mentioned like Spider-Man's like it's not a coincidence that it happened multiple times. Like
Right.
like Spider-Man saved me, and so in my mind, if you go back and watch all those movies, every time that MJ is doing something with Peter, just take Peter out of it. She still has that memory of
Right.
being on the rooftop, just no
Exactly.
Peter. And so when she's holding the black, Dahlia necklace, she's like, someone gave this to me. She now knows she read the letter. And so she's like, maybe this was Peter. Like she's like holding it kind of like this was Peter. Like
But the
she's
Ned
putting the
realization, though.
I think Ned is just. I think that is kind of like. See, because then if you say that a handshake breaks the spell, then the spell wasn't that good, and
I
then
don't think
MJ
it broke
wouldn't.
the spell. I think I think what I think it is, it bleeds into little pieces. So I think when she's holding the necklace, the touch of the necklace Peter gave me, like that's when
Mhm.
it starts. That one memory like cracks out. So that way, I don't think it's all at once. I think that it's probably like leaking slowly over time.
Yeah, I also thought it was like more nostalgia than anything. Like maybe he has in the back of his mind that he knows, um, like the he knows the handshake, but how do you know it? Like it's like
Because he
how do you
introduced
know
himself
that?
as
Like
Main or whatever
Maynard,
the hell. Yeah, Maynard at the party.
Maynard at the party. But if you remember, MJ is just now learning who Spider-Man is again for the second time, right?
Mhm.
She doesn't have that cognizance of saying like I got to keep her secret identity safe. So when he's leaving to go stop Jean Grey, she's even saying she said Peter, and then when I heard that I was like oh, because he hasn't told Ned.
Oh, I guess that does make sense for Ned. That I didn't even put those two together. Okay.
Because at the end when he meets when they meet again at the end he goes hi I'm Peter, and then that's when he's like
Yeah.
Peter
Yeah. Okay.
he's putting two and two
He's
together
putting
like
it together.
yeah
Got you. So that makes way more sense than what I was thinking. Because I was like, but then, so okay, so there's little cracks in the spell, but it's not just like a like a
yeah.
revelation where it all just comes flooding in at one time.
I think it also is like
More nostalgia than like kind of like deja vu more than
yeah
anything.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I also feel like this is going to be a renewal of their friendship.
Brand new day.
Like maybe like exactly maybe down the line we can see Peter and MJ become a thing again, down the line
Possibly.
because
Yeah.
like and then him and Ned have
Because
more
he's
of a
gonna swing by that
relationship.
rooftop and she's gonna be there at some point, right? And then like
They're all gonna hang out again. They're all gonna
we
hang out
see
again.
the
Like
Lego, them building Legos together, the Death Star. It's such a good
with like the movie
culmination.
quotes and
Yeah.
and doing all that. Like
The rings
yeah,
references.
exactly. And it makes more sense now that they've rekindled this friendship after 4 years of not having it.
Yeah.
Where
It's like a
where
renewal
Peter,
of vows.
exactly. And so it's kind of like okay, this is the renewal of a trio that has spent years together, but then all of a sudden because Peter wanted to save them so badly, then he had to make them forget. But now it's like okay, now we can start over. Now we can like start from scratch.
It's crazy to
And
think did Ned did not get snapped. Ned was not
Um,
blipped. I don't. Was it? Because I think MJ was blipped, right? MJ and Peter.
I honestly cannot remember.
Because I'm trying to think, like they've been through so much freaking trauma, and like they were talking about how many times that Spider-Man saved their life, and I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm trying to think about it, and it's like, because thinking about like losing your friend in that, and then for them to come back is just such like, you're almost trauma bonded. You've been through so
yeah,
much like cacophony catastrophe together that
yeah.
you're just like, yeah, I can't, I can't.
I'm looking it up right now.
I'd like to know, but I'm just interested, like just fascinated, because just thinking about that, and I love the reference to Flash and Martin Starr's character. That was a nice little homage, like
So it
tip of the
says
hat to them.
here, it says here that they both were blipped.
Both of them were blipped.
So all three of them were.
Okay,
So
together they were blipped, so they all went out together.
yeah. So that's interesting, I guess.
So
But yeah,
no,
no,
no
to
so
your
no three of them like went on without the other two. Okay,
exactly. So, but yeah, the movie. I mean, the movie continues with like, you know, finding out that the DODC is just a terrible organization, and MJ finally, or I always want to say Sadie Sink. Um,
Jean Grey.
Jean Grey, thank you. Jean Grey becomes this Omega level powered being or mutant, I should say, and
It's
just takes control of like a whole kilometer of people. And then she has Metzger, and she realizes in the moment where she's getting this overpowered. The reason she becomes so powerful is because Metzger is trying to imitate and mimic
mm-hmm.
her jumping abilities and her powerful. And so he's taking images and capturing this information on a computer screen every time she jumps, and he is forcing her to jump. He's using technology to force her to do this. Then she gets hit, looks back in the back, like leans back in her chair, looks up and sees a vent that is blowing, and she starts hearing this like almost like flapping, and she looks closer, and there is a tag on the vent that says VMAX. Then she puts two and two together, and she says, "No, VMAX is not something I'm looking for. This is where my sister sent her last message before she died
the
to
last thing
me."
she saw literally as she was dying.
Which, when I tell you, one of the best like mysteries of the entire movie. Of the like having that and being like, oh my god, like
Yeah, just Vent
that.
Max peeled off. Oh, dude.
Yeah, it was crazy, and um, I love how like even like Yelena tells Spider-Man about VMAX because Jean Grey has been looking up VMAX, and even when he asks like Metzger, "What is VMAX?" and he's like, "I have no
I have no
idea."
idea.
He's legitimately telling him, "I don't know." Like he's not lying. Like we're so used to the villain lying to us on screen that we're like, "Ah, you're lying." Like you're lying, which is such a good
Rug pull, yeah.
like
Refreshing red
yeah,
herring.
it's exactly. It's such a good moment of saying like you're lying. You know what it is. You know what it is. And
And
then
it's genuinely
them
just like, just some stuff like,
yeah, it's incredible. And
because why would anybody know that? Because nobody else like sat right there where Sarah sat. Like that's kind of the whole
exactly.
thing. Is it was just Sarah being there in that one spot that they have Jean in. And that's when Jean fully unlocks her powers. It's crazy to me to think about because my girlfriend is not as privy as we are to the comics and things of that nature. She had no clue when they showed Jean Elaine Gray's name. She goes, "Who is that?" And I was like, "Ooh," because the crowd started clapping and stuff like that. I was like, "Well, she's one of the most powerful mutants in the Marvel universe, bar none. Like
Yeah.
she is." And she was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, interesting." And I was like, "Oh, you'll see.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Just
you'll
wait.
see."
Just wait. But like after that, Spider-Man has this awesome fight with the hand, and
Hmm.
that is when the
Oh,
realization
what a
that is
fight!
that is when you get Peter fully understanding I am not in this alone. I can't do this alone. and he fights the hand, and
I
he
love the way the
puts
hand fights. Like
he
moving off each
puts.
other. It's so
Oh my
like
gosh, yes,
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Val. What is it? Crouching Lion, Hidden
Crouching
Tiger. Yeah,
something,
something like that.
Crouching
Yeah, but it's
Tiger.
it's just so that coded like that old like the kind of moving like with grace, but like off each. It's just oh god, I love it so much. It's so
They
pretty.
ran off of each other's backs,
Crouching
and
Tiger, Hidden
like,
Dragon. That's it. Sorry.
yep, there you go, you got it. See, it came to you. But in that moment too, we get the cool moment of Jean talking through the hand to Peter, and she says, "Are you Peter, or are you Spider-Man?" And he's like, "I'm both." And that's when he
Both.
starts to really like lock into
We
his.
see a video game move, a move
Oh my gosh!
ripped straight from Insomniac with the insane. I love that. What a nice little detail too to
The
show the
little
close up of him
twists.
twisting the wrists,
Yeah. Oh,
splitting the
it's just.
webs, web
Yeah.
tornado, getting everybody in one. You're done with the encounter. You can move on to the next point. Let's finish this mission. He kicks right in through the door when he was having trouble with it earlier. He's like, "Ah, Gene, I can't get in." Bam! Right through the door. I'm right here in your face. What's up?
Yeah.
I'm Spider
And then
Man.
she finally says, "Don't think I can't get into your head. I'm more powerful than I was last time I tried." And he was like, "Do it."
Come on in.
And she went right in. And
And
that message of Marissa Tomei of saying
the
like, now
great
you have
power, great responsibility
it.
speech.
But here's the thing. It was a great power comes great responsibility speech, but it was also a speech of you can't do this alone.
You can't do this alone.
Like
Exactly. The friendship, the lonely. You have to have
you have to
camaraderie.
have it.
Oh,
And
and
and this entire time Peter has suppressed that memory
mhm,
because he's like, I have to do this alone.
I
I
have to.
have to. And
And
now
he's,
it's like,
every time
no,
we
you
see it, he's
don't.
coming close. He's coming closer. He's coming closer. And then finally, oh god, I'm sorry. I have to, because
Go ahead.
this is why they cast Sadie Sink. That it's almost like what a good like 20, 30 seconds where it's just her face reacting to what Marissa Tomei is saying, and what she's saying is so poignant to both Peter and Jean Grey at the same time. It is just it's
Yep.
so touching. There, I was telling you, there was a woman in front of us in the showing that we saw the first time that was blubbering, like
Yep.
and I was tearing up a little bit, dude. I didn't cry, but like I was tearing up a little bit. I'm not gonna admit it. It is a very touching speech from Marissa Tomei, and Sadie Sink plays it incredibly with just a couple facial movements and one tear and a little bit of a hug, and then Peter comes back. Oh god, just
Hmm.
it's an incredible touching scene, man.
Yeah. It's super interesting because like, you know, throughout the first trilogy of it, the home trilogy, we probably should call it. Throughout that entire trilogy, you have nothing but like the idea of, you know, having this responsibility, and now you have to like do good, and you know, you have to make sure that everything you do is for the good of like in good nature. And now in this
And that
trilogy,
plays to her gravestone. I'm
yeah,
sorry, but like her gravestone. When you help someone, you help everyone. That's an
exactly,
exact way to tie
exactly.
that perfectly up.
Exactly. And then now you're dealing with, okay, now you, since you have this responsibility of doing good, now you have to let everyone else do their job with you. Because
Hmm.
there was multiple times in the movie where, and we didn't even talk about her, but the police chief DeWolf,
Mm.
um,
God, I can't believe we
she
missed
she
that. So good.
she was even saying like, "Hey, we got this. Don't worry." And he's like, "Oh no, I got it." And then he just goes and does it. It's like at the end, she's like, "We can handle a robbery.
Oh, the
Like we
tieback
can."
too when he says her kids' names is so
Yeah,
touch. It's I love that.
like he's truly coming into his own of knowing like, oh, like I can actually have people help
He
me.
can
I can
manage
actually do
both,
this.
and that's something that we saw a lot with the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man was like trying to juggle this, that, and I think that like that. I mean, that's the biggest thing, right? Is trying to figure out, am I Peter Parker or do I want to be Spider-Man? And because the anonymity is a huge thing with Spider-Man because he doesn't want anybody else to get hurt.
Yep. That's
So
why he hides his face. That's why he has
exactly.
that
It's
secret
the whole
identity.
point. And that's a big thing in the film also, like with Yelena, with the DODC. We see that a lot throughout the film. Guys, I
Hmm.
literally can't take my mask off with Frank. Frank makes fun of him for it. Um,
Yeah.
love it.
But then we get to the moment that I think is very emotional to a lot of people is Frank tries to do Frank things, and he tries to take out Jean Grey with a very heavy sniper,
50
and
cal.
and Spider-Man Spidey senses kick in from all the way across the like the building,
What an
and
incredible shot. Because they're in
yes,
Peter's head. They're sitting there on his bed, just like they were talking to Aunt May. And Peter just has like a little reaction. I was telling you about it after we saw the movie. One of my favorite Spidey sense things in general is from No Way Home. When he's
yep,
having the little green goblin tick. I love that
yep,
scene. And this was reminiscent of that, where he's just kind of like, he looks over and you see the muzzle flash. That's all you see.
yeah,
You hear the bolt go and you see the muzzle flash. And that's when he grabs Jean Grey, turns. Spider-Man gets shot.
yeah, like right in the back of a 50 caliber sniper from Punisher,
And he says, oh,
and
it's fine. You get out of here. And you just see the color drain. Ooh.
yeah, you see his face turn this pale white. You see the blood pooling up behind him.
And what a
It
like
is,
the kids next to me were like, they were so tense because it's like, that's Spider-Man. That's Spider-Man. That's my Spider-Man. Like,
yeah,
you see, as
yeah,
you see the blood collecting around him, I was just like, because my heart sank.
yeah, yeah.
Ugh.
And then in it, like, and then right after that, you just hear a trying time in New York, like the broadcaster saying, and I'm not gonna lie, I thought he was dead. I thought he was
Jean
dead.
Grey said, "Look at me." So that's what she said right before it goes into that. You kind of see the city. It's a montage of the city all like coming together, and that's when you really realize he's never been alone this whole time that he thought.
Yep,
He's had the entire
entire
city
city.
behind him.
Yep.
And I think that that was so tough. The Empire State Building when they lit that up, the red and blue. My girl, oh, it was a very,
Yeah.
very good moment.
Yeah,
Uh,
it was very very nice. I love the fact that, like you mentioned, it was a this and you get little bits of pieces of that throughout the movie. You get
mhm.
some of the officers were like that one guy was like, "I would never hurt you, Spider-Man. I love
I
you."
love
And he
you.
was like,
Yeah.
all right, buddy." And he's like, "Okay, all right, buddy." Um, but like you see that just bits and pieces of like New York saying like, "Hey, we got you. Like you're good. Like
Even kind of
we
through
got your
Ned with the
back."
Spidey Tracker app, like you see that people are engaging with it. They're like, "Hey, I saw Spidey here," kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I mean, he wakes up and Frank is in the room with him. He's been there since he took him in there, and Frank says a line that says, she was using her voodoo magic to keep you alive. And I was like, that's awesome because the
Hmm.
image that you saw beforehand was Jean Grey taking a breath and then Spider-Man taking a breath. So like she was keeping him alive like throughout this entire like time that he was in the hospital. And Spider-Man and Frank have this nice little moment of where they become friends. They become, more instead of having this like off and on like arguing.
Almost like sibling relationship, where they're just kind of
Yeah,
like, "Meh, meh,
yeah,
meh, 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 meh."
exactly. And now they're more buddies. They're more friends.
There's a really
And
funny scene when they're in the Empire State University where they're just kind of going back and forth. You just see a camera shot of them. And they're just like, "Oh,"
yeah,
you don't hear
yeah.
anything, but you can tell they're just
It's just
going.
it's the body like imaging of
Yeah.
like what they're doing. Like they're like clapping its hands and like putting their hands in front of each other's faces. Like
You
yeah,
don't understand. Yeah, the whole.
and then like they have this nice, Frank has a little tear, sheds a little tear. Peter jokes about seeing Frank cry, and then Peter hears this noise, and he's like, oh yeah, they've been out here since last night. Let's take a look. And he like looks, like peeks through the mirror or the window, and he sees the entire crowd of New York just cheering and just like having signs. And then he's like, well, if you ever want to get out, I have an idea. And I thought this was a great I think it was a great idea. He walks out of the hospital.
Peter Parker walks out of the
Peter,
hospital.
yes, thank you. Peter Park walks out of the hospital. No one is saying a single word. No one is saying anything. No
It's
one is
just a guy.
saying. It's just a dude walking out of the hospital, and then all of a sudden you hear someone say, "There's Spider-Man," and everybody looks towards that window, and it is Frank with the mask on,
The gloves and the
jumping up
mask.
and down. Yeah, jumping up and down, and then it pans to him in the it pans to Frank in the hospital, and he's like, "Oh, oh."
That was one of my favorite scenes in the movie.
It was so good. It was so good. But then Peter's like, smiling, and he's like, that's when he realizes I'm not alone. I have this city behind me, and he looks over, and the kid gives him a little thwip, and then he
Mm-hmm.
gives one back to him, and I was like, that kid knows. I was like,
Well,
that kid has an idea.
the thing we mentioned the thwip before, and I didn't get to. I totally forgot to mention this. The thwip is so cool because you literally see him thwipping when he's carrying Mary Jane, but there's a little visual touch that I think is so sick, and it's the threads of the webs floating away in a
Yeah,
lots of shots. And
yeah.
when it's the natural web, you see just threads kind of fluttering off and stuff like that. It is such a nice little visual touch, and there are so many of those. Like whether it's something that has to do with his webbing or the way he's fighting, or like the stretch. There are just so many little visual things that are just so
Hmm.
satisfying in this
Yeah,
film.
yeah, I agree. But lastly, I think we need to touch upon the end of the movie. We kind of talked about it, the handshake with Ned, the MJ holding her necklace that Peter got her. Um, Again, it feels like they are remembering. Not they. I don't think they can remember.
Yeah,
I
just the
think they're.
deja vu, nostalgic
I
kind of like his presence. His presence
How
is
did I
felt.
like MJ's like how did I get this necklace? Now I'm starting to piece the puzzles together
Yeah, because they'll
that
never
this
have the
was.
full memory of like this is who did that. It'll just be like this is probably like we have this. My past is more involved with this than I realized, so I have these things that are more
Yeah,
attached to this person than I know.
yeah. And then the movie ends, and we do not get a post credit scene. We get an end credit scene that has been stirring up online all over. And basically, what it is it's Ned's Spidey tracker, and it is tracking Peter. And then it pans all the way out where you see New York, you see Earth, or United States, you see Earth, and then it pans over to another Spider-Man icon, and it's like Spider-Man found, and then it ends. And a lot of people have been saying this is the worst post-credit scene. A lot of people say this is stupid. You don't need to
JT, I want your
stay.
theory. Tell us your theory because I think it's genius.
My thought, and I think this is hinting at a return of Tobey Maguire, because a couple of things that we need to to look at in this post credit scene. And I got a more detailed version when or an idea when we saw it the second time was okay, we know that on Earth it is Tom Holland's, it is Peter Parker, it is Spider-Man. We understand that because we've seen it been used in the movie. That
So does
icon
the Spidey
never goes
Tracker app?
away.
Is it just? It's not a tracker on Spidey. It's just people in the community saying, "Hey, I saw Spidey here," right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And I truly believe that when his icon does not go away, that means he is still on Earth. I think what we see is on another world or somewhere else. We see the other icon pop up. I think that is Toby Maguire's universe coming into an incursion,
Mm.
and then that's where it pings them. Someone has seen maybe another New Yorker from that universe puts it. I don't know like the details of it,
And why do you
but
specifically think it's Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man? Because he's been rumored to be in Doomsday
I think it's the
or
rumors
Secret
of it.
Wars.
See, I think a lot of people had the idea that it was Battle World, but then that would mean that No Way Home or Brand New Day takes place after Doomsday, which I don't necessarily see. I think Spider-Man this takes place before Doomsday, and so when you see that post credit scene, Doomsday is like the incursions are happening. This is where
Happening.
this
Okay.
yeah, this is the
Gotcha.
start of the incursions. That's just my theory. It probably is completely wrong, but
No,
we'll
I dig
see.
it.
We'll see. Like I mean, Marvel has trained us for years to never leave a Marvel movie. And
No
so
stone unturned.
exactly I just can't see a world where people are like, "Don't you leave from the theater?" Like you have to leave. This is the stupidest thing. It's like, no, they have some meaning to it. We just have to wait and see or figure it out or wait till someone leaks it. I don't know. But yeah, brand new day. I know it was a long episode, but hey, this is a fantastic movie that I think all of you have to go see. Um, Mike and I have seen it twice. Steven will probably see it twice.
Do you want to do a
Once he
quick
gets back.
breakdown of our Spider-Man movie rundown, like of our ranking now? Just really
Yeah,
quick,
yeah,
wrap
yeah.
it
We
up.
can. Yeah. So, do you want to go first? Or do you want me to?
Um, you go first.
So we're doing just the live action, correct?
Yes,
Not
just live
not
action.
into or across the Spider
Yeah.
Verse. Because if that was the
Tom
case,
Holland's 4, Andrew Garfield's 2, Tobey Maguire's 3.
all right. So I'll start at the bottom and work my way up.
Cool.
So at the very bottom, the last is TASM 2.
I agree.
That's just I don't want to go
Mine
into
too.
much detail.
You
So
don't need
we'll
to.
just so TASM 2 is last. Spider-Man 3 is second to last.
I have a lot of nostalgia
Um,
for that one.
then Far From Home.
Okay.
Then it is TASM 1, and then
Okay.
it is Homecoming,
Hmm.
and then after Homecoming it is I'm trying to think of the other movies that we have.
1, 2, Spider-Man 1 and 2, No Way Home, Brand New Day.
Hold on, I can tell you right here. I have my list. I don't know why I didn't even look at it. Okay, sorry. TASM 2, Spider-Man 3. Then we have Far From Home. Then I have TASM 1. Then Homecoming. Okay. Then Spider-Man, the first one. Then No Way Home. Then Brand New Day. And then Spider-Man 2.
Mm. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I agree with you with TASM 2 is my bottom. Spider-Man 3 is not my second to last. I'm so sorry, Andrew Garfield. TASM 1 is my second to last.
Mm.
As much as I do, because I just love Spider-Man. Like I don't hate any of these movies. I will watch any of these movies. I don't dig the TASM movies as much. I love Emma Stone though. I always
Mm.
watch anything with Emma Stone, but I just don't dig them as much. I think they're just too. There's something about them. It just rubs me the wrong way. Um, and then both of those at the bottom probably be Far From Home. Uh, then Spider-Man 3. Then Homecoming. Uh, mm,
I had to sit there for a minute and think about it. I was like,
because this is where it gets hard. Obviously, okay, so I'm just gonna work my way down. So it'll be Spider-Man 2 is my number one. I'm right there with you. I have I saw that movie in theaters when I was a kid and it blew my freaking mind.
mm-hmm.
Um, Also, I saw Spider-Man 3 in theaters and it blew my freaking mind. So I've got a lot of nostalgia for that. And that night I got thrown up on by my best friend at my birthday party.
Nice.
So then Spider-Man 2, Brand New Day, Spider-Man 1, No Way Home would be the 4 down from that.
Okay.
Yeah. I love No Way Home, but Tobey Maguire is... It's just, I think it's just nostalgia. It's rose-colored glasses, I'm not going to lie. But Brand New Day is incredible.
Is there 10? Is there 9 or 10 live
think-
actions? Because you have four Toms,
479.
so 9. So yeah. Again, I'm gonna run through them real quick because I have them on my letterbox. TASM 2, Spider-Man 3, The Amazing Spider-Man, TASM 1, Far From Home, Homecoming, Spider-Man, Spider-Man No Way Home, Spider-Man Brand New Day, and Spider-Man 2.
So you got No Way Home above Spider-Man. So I think that's... So ours are just flipped in like Spider-Man 3 and Spider-Man 1 No Way Home. Just a couple of little flips. Yeah.
Yep. But that will do it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, we know this is a longer episode, but it's rightfully so because this is a fantastic movie and we think that you should go see it. So, Mike, thanks again for joining us. Of course, we miss Steven, but he will be back next week for our next episode. So stay tuned for that. And make sure you're following all of our social media. We're putting out content left and right. And we can't wait to continue doing that. So, any last words before we head out?
No, go see Brand New Day.
Yeah. Just go do that.
Go see it.
And we'll see you later.
Love you, buddy.
Bye.
Bye.